Okay, so the question on the table for us for the next little while is this. Does God exist? It's a big question made up of just three words. Does God exist? Before we look at any specific philosophic arguments that attempt to answer that question, we want to get oriented to the nature of this question and what all it entails. What are the key concepts, the fundamental ideas that are involved in this short question? Does God exist? And our goal initially here is to get a sense of kind of how you're oriented right now in relation to some of these questions and ideas. Where do you stand today? And I say today because my assumption is that where you stand today in response to any important question is probably not the same place you're going to stand 5 years from now or 10 years from now. At least I hope it's not. I hope your thinking doesn't stagnate. And I hope that you don't just settle for ideas. I hope that you're always looking at new ideas that other people have to see if there may be changes that you feel compelled to make in your own thinking about some of these big, important questions. So this question, does God exist, comes up because we look out at the universe and we say, wow, there's a lot of stuff out there. There's stuff and things in the universe, right? There's planets and people and puppies. And we wonder, well, where did all this come from? How did this come to be? And why did it come to be? And when we think about things like that, we're really asking a basic question like, why does anything exist? Why is there something rather than nothing in the universe? Or why is there a universe? Why is there something rather than nothing? There are four options, I think, for answering this question. One of them is this. It's a dumb question. Don't ask it. Don't try to answer it because no one ever will be able to answer it. Just let the mystery be, as Iris DeMent said, and go off and have fun and live your life. But don't try to figure these big philosophic questions out. If you just can't resist the mystery, though, and you think, well, I gotta know, why is there something rather than nothing? Then maybe this response works for you. The universe came out of nothing. There used to be nothing, which is sort of an odd phrasing, used to be nothing. There was a state of nothingness. And somehow, and for some reason, out of that state of nothingness came everything that is. All the stuff of the universe came from this state of nothing. Now, to evaluate this explanation for yourself, you're going to have to first ask, is it possible for something to come out of nothing? Is it possible for things to come out of a state of nothingness? And if you think it is, if you think it's possible, it's not impossible, then the next question for you is, okay, do you think that's plausible? Does that work for you as an explanation of why there's something rather than nothing? If not, if it doesn't seem like a terribly plausible response to the question, then maybe this one works for you. Every event had a cause that preceded it in the past, and this series goes back in time forever. In other words, the stuff of the universe, everything that exists, all those planets and people and puppies, they are made up of stuff that has always existed. Always. It's just existed in different forms over time. So you look at, like, for example, you make a burrito. And you ask yourself, well, how did this burrito come to be? Why does it exist? And you think, well, because I just watched this person take all of these individual ingredients that were out on the table and assemble them into this burrito and roll it up and hand it to me. And you know that the moment before that person rolled up the burrito, those ingredients might have existed as whole tomatoes or beans in a can. And then before that, those beans in the can were in a box on a delivery truck. And you can keep going back in time and tracing the events that preceded the existence of this fabulous burrito you're getting ready to bite into. And according to theory number 3 here, you could trace all of these events that occur all back in time infinitely, go forever. We could experience what's called an infinite regression of causes. Things have always existed in some form or another, and they have been caused to take on certain forms by the events that have been taking place. Okay, so then again, ask yourself, is it possible that all of the stuff of the universe simply always existed and could be traced back into an infinite regression of causes? If not, then maybe this is your answer. a necessary being, what we might call God, created a contingent universe. Okay, now what this means is this, is that some sort of being that's necessary, it can't not exist. There's something about this being that makes it impossible for it to not exist, created a universe that's contingent. In other words, it didn't have to exist. It could have not existed, or existed differently, or existed as it does. And this supernatural being, this being we're going to call God, that exists outside of nature, that's not confined by the laws of nature, for whatever reason decided that this universe and all of its stuff and things should exist. And that's why there's something rather than nothing. All right, so these are my 4 options. If you've got another one, lay it on me on the discussion board, and we'll chat about it.